Mainly what the Inflation Reduction Act has done for the US and for North America is draw attention to the fact that the graphite supply chain and the anode supply chain is dominated by China. We've seen increased investment into anode projects and flake graphite projects in North America. And we've also seen a realization from the downstream in North America that the anode value chain as a whole it is really a part of the battery supply chain that is massively dominated by China and has very small existing capacity outside of China, particularly in North America. We've not seen much of a material impact on prices in terms of graphite prices, in terms of anode prices since the export restrictions. There was a small uptick in pricing for material exported out of China just before the export restrictions were put into place. But in terms of kind of an actual impact on traded material in North America, we've not seen much of a difference. But what we have seen is again, that awareness that this supply chain is dominated by China and an increasing need for graphite prices to reflect trends and developments in different supply chains that aren't associated with China. Benchmark has recently launched its CIF North America -100 mesh graphite price. Essentially, this graphite price is assessed in the same way under the same IOSCO compliant methodology as all of Benchmark's price grades. It's first-hand information collected from the market, but rather than looking at transactions in the Chinese market, we're looking at material landed into North America. The reason that we've launched this grade is down to increased demand from players in the North American supply chain. Both the downstream and the upstream want a price that they can tie their supply contracts to that reflects price dynamics that aren't associated with transactions in China. So this grade allows supply contracts to be indexed to a price that is reflective of dynamics in North America. Now, for the time being, trends in the North American graphite market still reflect what's happening in China because that's the market that dominates the supply chain and as a result kind of acts as a bellwether for the industry. But in the future, there's potential for a price divergence to develop. We might see kind of a splitting off of the North American market. And actually, we do already see a bit of a difference in pricing between North America and China. Whether that's down to a number of reasons, that could be the fact that shipping rates ultimately are more costly from Africa or China to North America. Consumers and also producers in North America are now looking to tie prices to a price that isn't associated with transactions in the Chinese market. That being said, there isn't necessarily a huge difference in kind of price trends in North America at the moment. Ultimately, China is still the center of this market, and as a result, price developments in North America tend to follow what's happening in China. That being said, there's still a difference in prices. Some of that's just purely down to the fact that a landed CIF price is more costly to North America if you're shipping material from Africa or from China, but also there's a smaller pool of material available for consumers if they want to be sourcing material that isn't associated with the Chinese market. And as a result, sometimes a small premium develops when consumers are trying to get their hands on that material. This links back again to all of the supply localization trends that we're starting to see. We're seeing prospective North American anode producers look to supply Western consumers, so automakers, cell manufacturers who want to establish a production base in mainly the US and are looking to source their battery components locally. Of course, if you look down or up that supply chain, really the trend is for a vertical integration for that onshoring. So as a result, graphite projects, anode projects, and cell projects are all kind of getting this increased focus on signing agreements and signing collaboration agreements with players in the market that are going to fit that onshoring need and that supply localization need.